In a world that feels like it's spinning faster and faster, what if the key to finding your balance was already inside you? What if real control isn't about changing everything out there, but mastering what's in here? In this explainer, we're going to dive into some really practical, time-tested ways to discipline your mind. So here's what we're going to cover. We'll start with the big problem, our modern mental overload. Then we'll get into the core idea that the answer is actually within us. From there, we'll open up the toolkit and look at Jivan Vijan, the art of breathing, and 2 key paths of meditation. And finally, we'll wrap it all up with how you can unlock your own inner peace. All right, first things first, let's set the stage. Why is this topic, controlling the mind, so incredibly important right now? Well, it all starts with the constant pressure of the world we're living in. Does it ever feel like you're just reacting all day? Like your phone, your notifications, your to-do list, they're the ones pulling the strings? It's a super common feeling. We often let the outside world dictate our state of mind, instead of the other way around. And when you look at the reasons why, it all starts to make sense, right? We're living in this age of nonstop technology. We're more urbanized than ever. The world feels incredibly competitive, and everything is just moving so fast. It's like a constant barrage of information and demands, and that creates a very real sense of strain. And this isn't just in your head. That constant mental strain has serious, real-world consequences for our bodies. We're talking about things like high blood pressure, insomnia, even heart attacks. So this isn't just about feeling a little less stressed, it's about our fundamental health. And that's the thing, we need a better solution than just trying to power through it. Which brings us to a huge shift in perspective. If the problem is how we're reacting to all that chaos out there, then maybe the solution has to come from somewhere else entirely. And here it is. This is the big idea. The real fix isn't about escaping modern life, because let's be honest, that's not really an option. It's about developing the internal skill to control and regulate our own minds. It's about building a toolkit, not finding an escape hatch. This image it nails the goal, doesn't it? We're not talking about an empty mind, but a focused, disciplined, and calm one. A mind that can take aim at its target and not get knocked off course by every little thing that happens. This is that state of peaceful power we're aiming for. Just let that sink in for a second. This isn't just about coping with stress. It's about thriving. A peaceful mind isn't a passive mind. It's an incredibly powerful and effective one. It's the launch pad from which we can achieve pretty much anything we set our minds to. Okay, so how do we actually do this? Let's open up the toolkit. Our first tool is a practice called Jivan Vigyan, which translates to the science of living. So Jivan Vigyan is a really systematic approach. The goal is to train our minds, grow those positive values, and, this is a big one, purify our emotions. It's not about just bottling up feelings like anger or frustration, but actually transforming them. This makes it a really powerful option if you feel like your emotional reactions are what's driving your stress. What's so interesting about this is how it addresses a gap in our typical education. We spend years and years training our intellect, that logical, analytical side of the brain. But Jivan Vigyan is all about balancing that out. It focuses on our emotions, our intuition, our inner consciousness. The idea is to develop a whole, complete person. And here's how it works in practice, through a type of meditation called Priksha Dhyana. It's basically a 3-step process. First up, you start with the body, getting it perfectly still, because a relaxed body helps create a relaxed mind. Second, you use what's called autosuggestion, just gentle mental prompts to help stabilize your thoughts. And then third, you shift into a state of pure awareness, connecting with that deeper spiritual part of yourself. All right, next up in our toolkit is the art of breathing. This one uses something you're doing right now without even thinking about it. The art of living actually has this really cool dual goal. On one hand, it's about creating a stress-free mind for you, the individual. But the bigger idea is that a world full of stress-free individuals leads to a violence-free society. And its main tools are powerful breathing techniques, meditation, and yoga. This is such a simple but profound truth. I mean, think about it, right? When you get angry or scared, your breath gets short and choppy. When you're calm and relaxed, it's slow and deep. The breath is literally a remote control we can use to change our mental and emotional state at any time. The core technique here is called Sudarshan Kriya. It's described as a kind of deep internal cleansing.
You use these specific natural rhythms of breath to get your whole system in harmony. And in the process, you actively release all that pent-up stress, anger, and anxiety. If you're looking for something that feels active and leaves you feeling calm, but also really energized, this is definitely one to look at.
Now let's talk about meditation itself, and specifically two very different approaches. Because it's definitely not a one-size-fits-all kind of practice, and understanding the differences is, well, key.
I love how this slide breaks it down. On one hand, you've got transcendental meditation, or TM. The metaphor is perfect. It's like diving deep into a pond. You go beyond the choppy, noisy surface of your thoughts to access this quiet, calm, powerful place deep within. The goal is to bring some of that deep stillness back up to the surface with you. Now, Vipassana is totally different. The metaphor here is just observing reality. You don't try to change anything, you just sit and notice your natural breath, as it is. By practicing that kind of objective observation, you start to see yourself and your reality more clearly, which is an amazing path to real acceptance and deep inner peace. So, we've looked at the science of living, the art of breathing, and two very different paths of meditation. How do we bring this all together? The thing is, even though their methods seem so different, one is about breathing, another is about stillness, one is about diving deep, another is about just watching, they're all pointed toward the same destination. Every single one of these tools teaches us the fundamental skills of how to concentrate and how to relax. They are all just different paths leading to the same place, a state of inner harmony and peace. And this is the most important takeaway of all. These aren't some ancient secrets held by a select few. They are practical tools. They're keys that anyone, that you, can learn to use. You already have everything you need. The power to unlock that calm, focused, and powerful mind has been in your hands the whole time.
So that really just leaves one final question for you. After looking at this whole mental toolkit, from purifying emotions to using your breath to diving deep or just observing, what's the first tool you're going to pick up and try?